The Chancellor asked for ideas for inheritance tax to be simplified this week, but should we even have one at all? It is highly unpopular, and some who argue against it say that taxing someone when they are alive, and then their estate, when they die, amounts to double taxation. In contrast, others argue for a lower inheritance tax-free threshold and an even higher tax rate than the current 40%. So how do you solve a problem like inheritance tax? On this week's podcast, Simon Lambert, Boyce and Georgie Frost look at how it works, why it is so unpopular, and how you can avoid it. Simon suggests his plan to simplify it and get more people paying by removing those fiddly reliefs and slashing the rate to 20%. But we also consider the argument for taxing inheritance, particularly unearned property wealth, more heavily. Later on the podcast, we discuss the problem of interest-only time-bomb mortgages and whether homeowners are burying their heads in the sand. Also on the agenda is what's wrong with M&S and investing in emerging markets, and why they could still be a good long-term bet even after funds rose almost 30% last year. And finally, the team dived into the cryptocurrency world again to look at how to play it safe if you are going to buy Bitcoin or one of its smaller rivals. Well, as safe as possible with something prone to swing around by daily double-digit percentages. How to listen to the This Is Money podcast. We publish our podcast every Friday to the player on This Is Money, above, and on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, and on the podcast platforms Audioboom and Acast, both of which allow you to listen on desktop, mobile, or download an app. We also now publish to Spotify.to. Download the Apple Podcasts app. If you do not already have it, go to the App Store. Or go to either the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store on Android to download the Acast, Audioboom, or Spotify app. Press play to listen to this week's full episode on the player above, or listen, and please subscribe, if you like the podcast, at Apple Podcasts, Acast, Audioboom and Spotify, or visit our This Is Money podcast page.